we're going to talk about the food. I had the enchiladas, very good as you can tell. Eric's on a diet, so he didn't.
No, he ate the plate.
I did not eat the plate. It was a giant burrito, and I ate slightly more than half.
And it was a California burrito.
It was California.
All right.
And it was amazing.
It
Really,
was,
really good.
It was an amazing California burrito, and you had the.
They have the delicious lunch chicken chimichanga.
You ate all the protein, I see.
Yes.
All right. He's on a low carb diet.
No, I'm not. I'm just eating it second.
He's taking his time. We're trying not to focus on him when we get back to the discussion here.
I'm done.
Yeah, but I had a lot of veggies. I had a lot of veggies. All right.
By the way,
Oh man.
my wife dressed me today. I was on my way out the door, and she made me change clothes.
So he made fun of my shoes, dude. Do you think these shoes are
Look, you gotta put those shoes on. He needs to stand back there
not gonna stand.
so we can get the full ridiculousness of that outfit.
That's what he said. They were too bright.
No, I said he should have gotten the
I
bright
think they're
ones.
old people's shoes. Skechers.
Skechers are old people's shoes, but they're very comfortable. Yeah, this is the sharpest you've been dressed for this event ever.
It's because his wife's looking after him.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
did. I talked to him this morning. He was on the tractor. I talked to him a couple hours later. I might have said a bad word, and he said, "You called me a bad word in front of my wife." I'm like, first of all, 99% of the time you warn me when your wife is on the phone.
Well, you
Or
know
when
what?
I'm on his speaker in his truck, he's like, "You're on speakerphone." Is the first thing he says.
You don't want to mess with his wife.
No, certainly not.
You don't want to mess with Paula. All right. So what are we going to be talking about now?
We were talking about shark's teeth. I don't know why.
Yeah, Eric can never find a shark's tooth.
I can't.
But if
I've never found one ever.
one of the coolest things you can do is you can order a dump truck load of sand
I
from
don't
the
have shark's
phosphate
teeth.
house.
Oh.
And out of that phosphate mine, you can't help but find shark's teeth. And so they'll come dump it at your house, and then your kids can look for all kind of fossils, and there's a ton of them in there. So it's really cool.
I'm good at finding arrowheads. And the majority of arrowheads in Chatham County are something that's been cleaved and worked, and then they chuck them. So like they started it, and then it didn't like go the way they wanted, and so they don't finish it. But you can still tell that it's been worked. And I remember I sold this property off of Mount Vernon Hickory Road, and this guy just dug up his front yard, and he had arrowheads everywhere, and they were full arrowheads. And I was just like, "This is amazing. You need to save these." He's like, "They're not real." I'm like, "No, these are real. These are real arrowheads." I was like, "Can I take a couple home to my kids?" And he's like, "They're fake. They're not real." And I was like, "No, these are real." And he's like, "That's just
Right, who's in the business of making fake arrowheads?
right,
Wait,
right."
hang on.
Well, he's like, "That's just my bush hog." I said, "Buddy, you got the most talented bush
Right.
hog I've ever seen in my entire life." I
Right.
mean, these things had the wrap
Right.
around everything.
We went down to a place outside of Fayetteville, and this guy had set up this animal park for kids. Brought the kids down there, and he had a cave. And this old guy is sitting there. All right, thank you so much. This old guy's sitting there, and he's making arrowheads and throwing them out on the ground.
Wow.
And then a school class comes through. He goes, "Look out, kids! There's Indians here. They're dangerous. But you can look for arrowheads, and maybe you'll find some." And all that. And then the kids are like, you know. So he's over there making arrowheads and throwing them on the ground. It was really cool. I wish I had the skills.
Yeah, because you don't have enough stuff to do.
No.
Did you ever find a shark's tooth at the beach?
Yes.
I have not.
But I don't look for,
I look for them and I can't find them.
I don't, I just happen to come upon them. What's the latest on the Matisse Clinic and your rooftop restaurant? Can we not talk about that?
No, we can talk about it.
We've had interest.
Well, there's people who are interested in the building, using it as office space. But kind of the make or break engineering moment is coming up now. I had a meeting yesterday with Taylor Hobbs and the lady who is the superintendent of the project. And in order to get the restaurant upstairs, we have to raise the ceiling 4 feet. And so they've done the engineering on what it's going to take to raise the ceiling.
Why do you have to raise the ceiling?
Because the ceiling's only 7 feet tall, and if you're going to put vents for your hoods and stuff,
Right.
if you go straight through the roof, how are you going to have your rooftop dining? So you've got to do it where it can go up and then duct out to the side. Well, so we got to raise it 4 feet, which means we have to put additional foundation under the whole thing. It's a long story, but we just sent out for quotes on how much that part will be, how much extra will raising the ceilings be. And then
Why did we, remind me, why did we tear down the paint store?
because the engineer said we couldn't.
Because it was,
That had so many different holes in it and
Right.
doorways in it at a time that it was like an old shoebox.
And there was no foundation.
No foundation.
It was
Well, you have-
it was pounded dirt. So the
You
dirt.
gotta have a
you
foundation.
still remember that video I shot where that car just drives by seconds before it almost got hit by the thing because once he hit that sweet spot, that whole thing collapsed.
So what I'm asking is, has there been a talk about like at what point is it less expensive to replace the hospital
Oh,
and build up and
it's
build
less
onto it?
expensive to tear it down, no matter the option you go with.
But you're afraid of all the Pittsboro people that have been born there. Well,
It's not that.
He's just waiting for him to die out.
I mean, no, I
I
mean,
did not say that.
but it's downtown Pittsboro cannot compete with Chatham Park
Right.
on parking and newness and all, but we can compete on cool. And that building,
an old hospital.
that building is cool. The downtown is cool. So,
Havoc's worked out great for you
oh
guys.
yeah, well, everybody there,
That's a nice mix of old and new.
yeah.
That's got both going on.
So, keeping it as it is a massive priority. But
What year were people born there?
47 to 73.
Oh wow.
And then they reopened it. It's kind of funny. They reopened it in, I think, 77, so that Matisse's granddaughter could be born there.
Yeah, I talked to the Matisse family and said on video, he actually, because back in the day, the x-ray machines, they didn't take any protective measures. So he actually got cancer in his hands after they do oncology to get that treatment. He lived to be like, I think, late 70s actually.
My first real estate office was the X-ray room of the old hospital.
And that's why he glows today. Those shoes.
Well,
Hair wash.
I used to, because it was so slow, I would turn the light off and take a nap, and the whole room would still stay lit.
TMI.
You know? My teeth still glow in the dark.
Yeah. So what's next?
So wait a minute, before we go on to that, so are you just going to decide if it's worth it? Because I think it would be cool to have it up there, but
Well, I think the order that we're going in is how much is it going to cost to raise the roof? And if it's way too much, then we just wait and see what happens. Because as much as I talk about just turning it into offices, in my heart of hearts, that needs to be. You know, it needs to be. So.
has the record store moved in yet?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
They
no,
are-
I thought Heather said they had, and they're good neighbors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'll need to check in on that. Well,
Yeah,
you got a record
that's
store.
cool. That's a level of cool for Pittsboro.
Right. And the dude is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I met one of the guys.
They were good to work with in the lease negotiations.
Oh, what's happening with the brewery?
Which one? Havoc?
Red News.
Red News.
Danny told me that they're out, but he found a replacement, a guy that goes there, but has always wanted to have a sports bar. So that's what he's going to do. So instead of being fancy beers, he's going to go with like more bar pour pitcher draft stuff. And but
Is it going to be liquor and beer or just beer?
I think it's beer. I'm not sure. I think it's just beer.
Aren't breweries like taking a hit on
Right, but I think I mean, he called it a joint. Like he wants it to be a joint, and I think just a sports place
Right.
has. I think that'd be a good. I don't think that competes with anything that's already in downtown, and I think there's a good customer base there. I mean, I know we got the fancy one in Chatham Park, and a lot of people like that. I'm not, you know, if you want to pour your own beer, that's your thing.
But actually, you got to read the reviews on that. That's all I'm going to say.
Why?
Just read them.
All right. I don't know. If
Do
that means-
people like it or dislike it?
There's a lot of people who don't care for the
Well, I went in
Serve
one of the
yourself.
I went in one of the first day they were opening, and they had a advanced senior citizens group in there having a meeting. And let's just say they were not the most skilled at pouring their drink. And that thing is measuring how much it charges you by the ounce.
with your bracelet.
But it's all foam as they're dumping it down, and then there's a $30 beer or whatever. You know, I don't know what it was, but it was really expensive because of their poor pouring technique.
I like that fact that you can have. I like dark beer and to have like 5 different porters or 2 different stouts or 3 different. You know, it was. I like them, but.
Well, it was a neat night on the NBA draft.
Well, I was
night.
gonna say you definitely have enough screens.
Right.
I mean that's. But anyways, guy's name is Kevin Hort.
So is Red Moose holding on to their fire truck, or did they sell it
Yeah,
off?
that's what.
Because that's what I
I
heard.
think, yeah, I mean, I'd rather Danny speak to it, but I've heard that that's done really well for like weddings and catering and whatnot. And, you know, when you could make X amount of dollars off of a couple weekends versus X amount of dollars. And, you know, I mean, I think Danny will say that we were certainly below market rent, and even at that, it's still difficult to make ends meet or whatever. So it's more economic for him to do the truck or whatever. But
I wish him the best of luck.
oh yeah, great guy, real good guy. Yep. Same. And I like the fact that if everything works out right, we're not going to have a gap. It's just going to go boom. But you know, like we all know, vacancy sucks in the commercial landlord world.
Yeah. Oh, you could always put what's it called? An antique store in there. Yeah.
We've had so many. One of the requests that we had was an antique store.
And you're like, nah.
No, I mean, you know,
No offense to antique stores.
no, there's not. It's just an antique store doesn't want to pay the rent that I need.
Right.
Like,
How
I mean,
about church?
I can tell you what my monthly payment is on that building, and you know,
Right.
you got to have rent to match that. It's not easy. Not easy. But yeah, what are some other businesses that are opening in Chatham? You know of anything opening? We got the
You got a Chipotle opening up by the
right.
by the food line up the road.
Yep.
And you have the O2 sports place across the road from me. Speaking of which, I was driving by there yesterday, and there's 4 deer just standing in the middle of the road. I'm like, you know,
I
guys.
had last week, 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to walk a property on Austin Chapel Road, and the seller called me and said, I just got notification from the neighbor, a mama and 2 cubs, bear on Austin Chapel.
Are you charging them rent?
No. No, but, I mean, and so then I had to walk the property, which was, I had no evidence whatsoever, no scat, no scratches, no prints, nothing, but they were out there.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
All right.
But yeah, somebody said they saw one off of 64 bypass last week or 2 as well.
Yeah, just don't send your kids out there camping.
So we don't, seriously, I mean, like, we're supposed to know new businesses. We
I don't know. You're
anything.
the real estate guy. You're supposed to know this.
Well,
I got a lot of stuff I can't talk about.
right. There's a bunch of things coming that you're not allowed to say.
I know.
What's coming that we can talk about, I don't know.
Right.
All right, folks. We're going to keep you guessing because we want you to come back in a couple of weeks and watch the next episode.
Okay.
All right. What's up next?
What do we call people from Pittsboro officially?
Pittsburghians.
Pittsburgh. right? Is that what they're called?
Pittsboroite.
Pittsboro, yes. You don't know, do you?
No, they're not Chathamites.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to ask you. What do you call Chatham people? You say
Well,
Chatham.
actually, there was a guy in the Chatless who passed away. He used to supply the coffee shop in Chapel Hill. He used to call them Chatham Mohicans.
Yeah, I don't know if that's political.
That's way too long. Way too long.
Chathamites then.
Yeah,
Okay, that sounds
Chathamites.
like a little bug.
We had a guy at a Pittsboro Advisory Council that had to write a definition, and he wrote native population. And come on, you got to be careful about native population, right?
Well, the neat thing is the historical society puts something on their Facebook page every morning, and today they had a thing about from 1906 where a guy came down from Pennsylvania and stayed at the hotel because this was a big popular hunting area for northern folks to come.
Oh, Mount Vernon Springs was big for Chatham rabbit was something that was served throughout the
And
country.
it was a luxury item
Yeah.
up in the northeast restaurant.
But have you ever seen the pictures of the old Mount Vernon Springs Inn?
No.
Yeah, there's some really good. Ben Atwater has some good stories about Mount Vernon Springs and why that was such a popular place. Or maybe it was Phil Edwards.
Is
who talked
it
about
something
that.
we can't talk about?
Probably.
Yeah, I can talk about it in a way. So there's a coffee shop Nick Dacus owns
Right.
called the Chatham Rabbit, and Chatham
Yes.
Rabbit was something. So one of the reasons why Mount Vernon Springs Inn was so popular is because if you went hunting in New York or Massachusetts, you would go out the whole weekend and you'd come back with 2 or 3 rabbit. Okay, but if you went to Southwest Chatham, where Mount Vernon Springs Inn was, you could go hunting for 2 hours and get 10 rabbits.
Right.
But then you could go to a bar and drink, or maybe a brothel and visit.
Wait a minute, Chatham County had a
Yes.
brothel?
Yes. And so these guys would come from the Northeast and go rabbit hunting
Right.
and say that they were out all day long. They'd come back with 12 rabbit, and it only took them a couple hours to get. So that's one of the reasons. Legend has it.
Legend has no,
Well,
yeah.
Chatham County used to have a Ducks Unlimited banquet. I don't know if they
Oh, I
still
remember
do.
that. Yeah.
But the Ducks Unlimited banquet was pretty off color, shall we say. What's next?
I am a charity auctioneer tomorrow night. I have to do the calling
Yes,
for a local charity.
right.
Can you name the
Boys and
charity
Girls
or
Club.
just?
Well,
It's not a brothel, is it?
I don't know, but I am auctioning 10 liquor bottles.
Okay, so what's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I just thought that was weird. That
Is
was
that
like,
legal? Did you check at the sheriff?
yeah, it's legal.
Okay.
It's legal. I think everybody's of age that's there. But I'm gonna have to come up with some. Like you can get excited about the first bottle, but then when it's the second bottle, I'm like, no.
Look, if you want, I'll come up there and we can
All
play
right.
off of each other.
Okay. All right. All right. So you don't know what people from Chatham County are called?
No, but if people have suggestions, just post
Okay.
them in the
Well,
bottom.
I thought this would be a good thing to talk about. What are some things that how long have you been here? Since when? What year?
Before 1990, 1980.
Really?
Yeah, 1988.
88. I'm 93.
95.
95. So okay. So we're not native, so
No,
to
we're
speak.
not. And you're reminded of that
And well, yeah, but not as.
as much.
I got a lucky last name.
Look,
You don't have-
We don't have to talk about personal stuff here. What do you mean? Are you-
No. I'm saying my last name helped me in
Oh.
Chatham County. It was a name that was already established in the area.
Okay.
So, but I remember it doesn't count now because it's all great. But when I first got here, the barbershop stopped and was like, "You have black hair." They were like amazed that somebody, because nobody had black hair in Chatham County. But anyways.
What do you mean nobody had black hair?
Nobody had black hair in Chatham County. Nobody had black hair in Chatham. You are not from Chatham County and have black hair. It's brown hair.
You're not white from Chatham.
Right, maybe that's right. Yeah, maybe that's so. Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out is what are some what are some of the craziest, biggest, besides this population and number of houses and the prices of the houses, what are some things that are just so fundamentally different from when we first got here to now? What is the first thing that comes to mind?
The fact you have a 4-lane running from Chapel Hill into Pittsboro, because remember that used to be just a 2-lane,
Oh, yeah.
and you didn't have the 2-lane bridge,
Well,
and you could drive over the Bynum Bridge, and you had to wait till one car went over because you couldn't get 2 cars going over, and the bridge was not closed to car traffic. I remember that. And you had the general store was actually a post office
Yeah. In Bynum.
in Bynum.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I remember when Postal Fish Company was the post office.
And then they were a print shop.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a McDonald's. We have a
Two McDonald's.
Kentucky Fried. We got 2 McDonald's.
Okay, you got one over by
We got 3 McDonald's in Chatham County.
I'm talking about Pittsboro. I don't know nothing
Oh
about
no, the one up this closer to Chapel Hill, over there by where the Walmart is.
But honestly, the biggest drag for me is I leave home 7 o'clock in the morning to come to work in Pittsburgh. And if I had to touch my brakes, it made me angry. And until I got to downtown Pittsburgh, there were no lights. So if I came at 7 o'clock, no traffic.
You cannot park in front of my office
No.
and expect to get out after 4:30.
No.
You are stuck. And what should there be, if you have your reverse lights on, well, I mean, I always stop and let the people out. Why would you not stop?
Because you're a Yankee?
I'm not a Yankee.
I'm just saying the
Not talking
people
about
who won't let you out.
Or Yankees.
Yes.
Yeah, because they have parallel parking in New York and upstate.
See,
You don't have.
I mean, think about it.
And you're supposed to do the wait.
Right.
Like if you let me out,
What is
I
with
have
people
to.
who don't wait?
You got to.
do the wait.
Yeah,
gotta
if you
do
don't
the
wave, it's kind of like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, because that was you let me out. I am thanking
Right.
you for letting me out.
But no,
because
I mean-
it's in front of the rearview mirror.
If you think about it, the death of backing out on Hillsborough Street is the beginning, and it's not just Chatham Park, but of Briar Chapel, of all the influx of, I've always said that, a group of Yankees is called a pestilence. So we have a pestilence of Yankees in Chatham County, and they don't let you out of your parking spot. That's all I'm saying.
Are we offended?
I don't care. I was one of those Yankees that came down here and said, well, you know what? We do things better from where I came from. And I think that's what gets a lot of folks upset is where it's like, okay, if you did things better from where you came from, why don't you just go back?
And the other thing that happens is if you're trying to drive down 64, and people who moved here from California, and I just found this out being an attorney, was they think that you're supposed to give way to them for them to merge in, because that's the law in California.
Right, but you are not to be in the left lane if you're slow.
Right, no.
And
No, but
if you're in the left lane, you got 2 choices. You can slow down and get behind that car, or you can speed up and get ahead of that car. But you cannot stay in exact line with the other car. That is some BS right
I
there.
wish North Carolina would start enforcing that law.
Is it a law? It is a law.
Yeah.
It is a law.
Yeah.
Because I try to go in between it.
Right. You bisect the traffic.
Actually, my mother-in-law is the one that's, well, I'm traveling the speed limit.
No, I don't know. The left lane is not for the speed limit.
All right,
That's what the right lane's for.
What